Alright, alright. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. So here, okay. First of all, thank you so much for the opportunity given to our group. Here we are, group 9. We're going to explain about our material, which is about exploration, analysis, and reflection. So this is our member. There are Dewi Putri Tuasusila, and then Hera Ismawati, which is me, and then the last one is Fitriani. I'm going to be the first presenter, so I'm going to explain first about the study of language in psycholinguistics. And here's the submaterial. The first one is linguist versus psychologist. Okay, let's take a look at the PPT. As you can see here in the screen, linguists concern themselves especially with the system which underlie language, while for psychologists, by contrast, psychologists are especially interested in performance in evidence of language in use. So basically, linguist here is a study about language structure, their meaning and the usage, and it more focus on language aspects such as like grammar or syntax. Well, for psychologists, it is you can say it is a study that more explore about human mind and behavior, including how language is acquired and processed as part of the cognitive process in human mind. So basically, linguists delve into the intricacies of language itself, where for psychologists, it examines language in the context of mental process and behavior, something like that. And then the second one is speech versus writing. Again, as you can see on the screen here, speech is spontaneous, whereas writing is deliberate. Means speech is spontaneous, while writing it is not. It's plain, So the result of this is that speech is often less precise than writing and more loosely structured synthetically or grammatically. If we compare to writing. And then the second one, speech is connected, whereas writing use discrete units. Means speech is connected means that like when someone speak, they always saling berkaitan antara one speaker to the other speaker, whereas writing is not. So basically, in writing they has this alphabetic writing, like A, B, C, D, while for speech they has phonemes like B, T, K, something like that, like the sound of the word. And then the third one, speech takes place in real time while writing can be reviewed. I think it's clear that speech takes place in real time because it's spontaneous. It happened. It just happened. It flow. While writing, it can be reviewed because it is planned by the writer. For example, like a reader, someone who read someone's writing, they can go back and check their understanding of the previous sentence, for example. While for a listener, someone who listen to someone's speech, they cannot go back and check their understanding because it happened in real time, and it basically speech we cannot take back what we have said, while in writing we can, something like that. So basically, speaking and writing are distinct forms of communication. Speaking is often spontaneous with immediate interaction between one speaker to the other speaker, and they rely on tone and intonation, while for writing, on the other hand, it's typically more planned, allows the writer to review, to do revision and something like that. So, but both of them each has its nuances and serves different purpose in human communication. so it's no worries. But I think that is. And then the third one is productive versus receptive process. Well, as you can see on the screen, speaking and writing demand that we encode in the ideas into language. Reading and listening that we decode language into ideas. We tend to assume that projection and reception are closely linked, but this need not be so. Basically, why we talk about speaking and writing and also listening and reading here, basically productive skill, they include speaking and writing, while for receptive skill they include reading and listening. We can say that productive process, they involve creating or generating language, such as speaking and or writing. They need to put their idea on that. Well, for receptive skill or receptive process, on the other hand, they involve understanding or receiving language, like listening or reading. They involve our comprehension of information, or our comprehension in getting information. While for productive, they require our ability to express our thoughts, something like that. Well, I think that's it for me. The next material will be explained by my friend. Thank you. Alright, thank you so much for the opportunity. Now we're going to the next point, which is lower level versus higher level process. So finally, now we need to make a distinction between process which involve the raw data of speech or writing, and process which involves shaping this data into meaning. So basically, it will be easiest for us to understand if it comes to example. So now I'm going to give example from reading. So as you might know, reading, they involves two distinct operations. First, a reader decodes the words on the page and notes the sequence in which they appear. So once words have been recognized, then he or she, the reader, then they has to build meaning at the level of the sentence and at the level of the text as a whole. So these two operations would appear to involve different degrees of attention and even different parts of our brain. So this is what we call as a lower level and higher level process in thinking, especially in reading. Well, I hope you understand. Now we're moved to the next material, which is talking APES. As you might know, now a number of experiments have been made to demonstrate that other primates, especially chimpanzees, can acquire language if properly taught. Well, is it true? Now we're going to talk about the evidence and also the significance of chimpanzees' language. Basically, the earliest attempts founder because chimpanzees do not have an appropriate vocal apparatus to produce the sounds of human speech. Then, does this psychological difference mean that APES cannot, by definition, acquire human language? Well, we're going to find out. Any evidence that other primates are capable of acquiring language has important implications for theories of language acquisition by humans. Those who take a nativist view suggest that all children are born endowed with a special language capability in the form of a universal grammar, which enables us to recognize characteristic patterns which occur in all the world's language. So you can consider this in relation to the idea that chimpanzees, are those chimpanzees are capable of learning language or not? Something like that. Well, I think that's it. The next material will be explained by my friend. Thank you.
My name is Fitrani, my student number A1211091. Okay, lateralization, the brain, in the brain. 1. Lateralization and lineage. The brain is divided into two hemispheres joined by a mass of neural connection, the corpus callosum. The hemispheres have a control relationship with the rest of the body. The right side of the brain can control movement and sensation on the left side of the body, while the left hemisphere is responsible for the right side. This suggests an important role for the left hemispheres in language processing, and in that the effect not by Broca and damage involved damage to left side of the brain. A link between the left hemispheres and language has since been confirmed by a number of different investigative techniques, including 1. Web tests, 2. Decoding listening, 3. commissurotomy. 2. Factor affecting lateration. 1. Lateration and handedness. Most individuals are right-handed, just most individuals appear to be left brain dominant for language. 2. Lateration and brain damage. Many of those who suffer left hemisphere brain damage in the regions identified by Broca and limit never recover the powers of speech. 3. Critical period. The critical period hypothesis has it that there is a time during our early lives when we have maximum receptivity to language. If for any reason a child is not exposed to language during that period, the argument goes it will only achieve a limited degree of competence. The concept of a critical period has been extended to second language learning. The hypothesis is when the plasticity of the brain permits younger learners to acquire a second language much more successfully than adult ones, or two, that the universal grammar, which permits us to acquire our first language, is no longer available after a certain age. And thank you.